Welcome. In this video we will discuss approving a payment request that has been sent to you for review and approval. Here I have an email that has arrived. I sent it to myself for the purpose of this demonstration, but assume that this came to you from someone in your department or another department that has asked you to review and approve their payment request. The email says payment request review required, has the name of the vendor, the invoice number, and the invoice date. It also comes along with some simple instructions. Let's review them. Please review and approve this payment request. When opening the spreadsheet, be sure to enable macros or else certain functions will not work. Supporting documentation can be found on the PDF Backup tab. After reviewing the payment, sign by typing your name under Approved By on the page 1 and click on Send to email the form to the appropriate department. You can visit the WCS Treasury channel on YouTube to see a demo of how to approve payment requests like this, and actually by doing so you'll see this video that we're taping right now. Let's click on the file and see what it contains. The first thing you need to do is enable macros. See here, security warning, macros have been disabled. Well, if we want the action buttons here to work that will help you facilitate approval of this payment request, you need to enable macros. So click on Options, Enable Content, and OK. Here is the requested invoice to be paid. It's the Premier Global Services, $119. It's got the vendor number. It's got appropriate accounting information. Everything looks fine. There are no red warning messages anywhere. Everything's been checked off. You can go to the PDF Backup tab and find the invoice that's attached. By clicking on this, you'll notice that you see cross hatches across it. What that means is that your computer has opened Adobe Acrobat. And here you can see, here's Adobe Acrobat and the invoice in full. It's got 4 pages. You can look at the details. You can review it. Once you close Adobe Acrobat, the hash marks disappear. If there's more than one document provided, you'll find them below, and you can click on each one individually and look at them to review as the supporting documentation for this request. All is in order, so we'll sign it here. For this purpose, I'll just sign it as Sean Approver and press Enter. Coming back, we have our action buttons. Now, in normal circumstances, if everything is in order, we've got a vendor number, you would just send it straight on to accounts payable by clicking on that button. If there's no vendor number and it's a new vendor or a first-time employee or an employee who's making their first payment request for themselves for expenses, well, then what you need to do is send it to purchasing, where they will set up the vendor or the employee in SAP so that they can get paid. Setting up vendors and employees in SAP is not an accounts payable function, so it's just best to send it to purchasing right off the bat. Just going to put the number back. Okay. Now, in some instances, if the account information is grant related for sub-grants or global conservation, certain global conservation wire requests, we may need to send it to GFGM, the Global Finance and Grants Management Unit. To do so, you can click on this and a window will pop up and you can send it to them. They will in turn sign it and then send it to accounts payable. This email to CASO is for accounts payable only. You'll see it says only accounts payable should be used in this function. Do you want to proceed? And you should always answer no. We've had an instance where someone sent their payment request to CASO and their bill did not get paid. Do not fall into that trap. So here in this instance, we're going to send it to accounts payable. We'll click here. It says if Excel prompts you to save or save as the file, please be sure to do so. And that's because we want to save the file and make sure we're sending the latest version with your signature on it. If you click no, your signature won't be on it, and accounts payable will send the file back to you and ask you to re-sign it. So click yes, and click yes, you do want to save it, and a window will pop up. It's an email from Outlook or your default email software, and it will be addressed to paymentrequest@wcs.org. That's accounts payable. Payment request approved, the vendor, the invoice number, the invoice date. This is a unique combination that cannot be duplicated, and it prevents accounts payable from mixing up your payment request with others that might have come in for that same vendor. There is the attached file. It's brand new. If you want, go and insert your signature request and then click send and send it off. Again, if you're sending it to the grants management unit, an email will pop up and it's addressed to the grants management unit. Again, if it's a new vendor or an employee who is requesting funds for the first time, you want to send it to purchasing. Here, sender, please provide name, phone number, and email address of the new vendor employee, or it will delay your payment request. And that's because purchasing needs some information. You can go and say, see the invoice enclosed for more info on the vendor, and then put your signature. It could be as simple as that, and then you click on send and off it goes. Some payment requests are capital related regarding to construction and other renovations taking place at our WCS parks or abroad, and those payment requests need to go to the capital budgeting team here at WCS New York. In that instance, you can just click on send for departmental review and always say yes to save, and then send it to the person in capital that is responsible for that particular project. We don't have a generic mailbox for capital because they have to go to certain individuals. If you have a capital project, you know who it should go to, so please do so. So that rounds things up as far as approvers go. By sending your payment request to the appropriate department, they will continue with the chain until it finally ends up at accounts payable, and your payment request will be sent out as soon as possible. Thank you very much.